Underwear?
Wedgie?
Yeah! Hold on to your pants. It's the all-star finale of summer's #1 new show.
Can we hear that creepy guy's voice say the password is again?
The password is murder.
The password finale tomorrow on NBC.
Camila Cabello.
It says Camilla.
Why is my name so hard for him? You and Gwen would make a great team.
What the?
I want the best for him.
You want the worst for me?
Both can be true.
The Voice premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on NBC.
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Serena Williams. NBC Tonight.
On our broadcast tonight, the first regulation of Delta-8 THC in Wisconsin. We'll hear what one county is doing to make sure teens don't buy it. Plus, a local library is opening a new chapter. We'll take a look at their revamped brand. And a brewery famous for allowing dogs is facing a major hurdle after a law change means their business model is illegal. Your local news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. News Watch 12 at 10 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 10. I'm Dan Hagan. The United County Health Department is hosting a bivalent COVID-19 booster on Thursday. These boosters are aimed at targeting the highly contagious Omicron variant of the coronavirus. They are recommended for adults at least 2 months away from their most recent COVID vaccine shot. The exact eligibility requirements can be found on the United County Health Department website or Facebook page. The clinic is on Thursday from 8:30 to 4:30 at Grace Foursquare Church just northeast of Rhinelander. Pre-registration is not required. Please bring a face mask and COVID-19 vaccination cards. Also available at the clinic are flu shots. The Wood County, Wisconsin Board of Supervisors passed an ordinance that requires people to be 21 to purchase Delta-8 THC products. The ordinance includes all intoxicating hemp products. It also limits proximity in which these products can be sold near youth-serving organizations or other youth-friendly locations. This is the first such ordinance in the state to regulate Delta-8 products. Wisconsin currently has no regulations in place for Delta-8 THC, and even some marijuana advocacy groups warn consumers about using unregulated Delta-8 THC products. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joins us now. Jeff, can't complain about today. It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, a cool start to our day today with temperatures in the 30s this morning, but then we did this. High temperatures back up in the upper 70s to low 80s across the entire area today. Tomorrow, though, not so much, as we have somewhat cooler temperatures on the way, arriving later on tonight. Right now, we're at 60 in Rhinelander, 54 for Antigo, 54 for Diamond Lake. It's comfortable out there. It will not be as cold tonight as it was last night, but still, we'll get a couple low temperatures down near 50 as a sneaky cold front is just to the north of us right now. The radar is inactive right now because we're in a good spot. No precipitation tonight, but there is some stuff off to the west of us. So here's that sneaky cold front right there. That's going to give us a wind shift tonight, no precipitation, and make it cooler tomorrow. But that will catch us over the weekend. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies and not so cold with low temperatures down near 47. Your full forecast is coming up, Dan.
A Fox Valley store selling Pokemon merchandise was robbed yesterday. The break-in was caught on security camera. Staff from the Pokeshop 2.0 in Grand Chute said the break-in happened at around 1 a.m. on Monday. Pokemon, if you don't know, is a popular Japanese media franchise. The suspect is seen in the video grabbing multiple items and smashing glass display cases to steal more items. The store's owner said that the estimated dollar loss from the stolen items is between $20,000 and $30,000. The Grand Chute Police Department is investigating. Today, a Wisconsin judge sided with Republicans and declined to suspend his ruling that state law does not allow election clerks to fill in missing information on absentee ballot envelopes. The ruling was expected to be quickly appealed by Democrats who raised concerns voters will face whiplash with potentially changing rules so close to an election. The case is expected to end up before the Wisconsin Supreme Court, but it's unclear whether there could be a ruling before the midterm election that's just 8 weeks away. For a second day, 15,000 Minnesota nurses continue their strike at 15 different hospitals in the Twin Cities and Duluth. Nurses have already been negotiating for several months, asking for better security, more staffing, and a 30% raise. But after months of negotiating, nurses and hospital leaders are still far apart on many issues. There is still another day of striking scheduled, and if a deal isn't reached, one nurse says a majority of nurses could vote again to authorize another strike.
The nurses are so engaged in not only making sure that they have a good contract, but they are so tired.
Negotiation talks are expected to resume next week. Northwoods restaurants aren't alone in the battle against higher costs and lower workforces. Restaurants across the state are facing high costs, high demand, and a low workforce. The Wisconsin Restaurant Association released a survey showing 75% of businesses are less profitable now than previous years. These issues are leaving many restaurants to feel the pressures of increased menu costs, shortened hours, and doing just about anything they can to stay profitable. Experts say this is becoming more of a challenge day by day for these businesses, and they're not sure what the future holds for many restaurants in central Wisconsin. Libraries are home to many familiar characters and stories. The Rhinelander District Library has recently rebranded to better represent everything under their roof. Newswatch 12's Michael Lodholtz has more on how this change is shaping their future.
There's just a lot going on at the library, so if you haven't been here lately or ever, you haven't been here.
The Rhinelander District Library Director, Virginia Roberts, celebrated the building's fall open house Tuesday and announced some fresh changes.
We're just always trying to come up with something new that people in the area could use, even if they don't know it yet.
Longtime area resident and library services assistant Matt Persecki is excited by a fresh new logo thanks to a recent grant.
The grant came through IMLS and was sent out through the Department of Public Instruction, and we were the only library in our system to get that grant. It was pretty exciting.
Roberts says the logo has been the same for decades and is happy to see the changes taking shape.
Our logo is very 90s. It does scream library just like this one, but we wanted something that, you know, talked about, when you saw it, you said, oh, that is the Rhinelander District Library. That is our community library.
Persecki has seen the same logo his entire life and is excited to finally see the update and more services being offered to the community.
You have to make changes so that you go blind to the things that are around for so long and don't change. Change the colors, change the image, and you remember that big building that's been there forever, that's a library, and there's still people in there.
People can rent out all sorts of non-book related items, including games, light boxes, Wi-Fi hotspots, laptops, and much more.
Part of what we're doing today is, you know, come to the library, see what we have to offer, see the new things we have to offer.
In Rhinelander, Michael Lodholtz, Newswatch 12.
A viral teeth whitening trend has been making the rounds on social media. Coming up, we'll hear what some local dentists have to say about it. That's After Weather with Jeff, right here on Newswatch 12.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
By some measures, our economy is doing great. We've reached the lowest unemployment in state history. We have a record budget surplus. But there's another side, too. Rising prices for groceries, gas, and medications. Folks, that's a problem. That's why I have a plan to cap prescription drug prices, aggressively prosecute price gouging, and cut taxes by another 10% for working families. It's the right thing to do for Wisconsin and our economy.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Welcome to Brickner's Park City Jeep Chrysler Dodge and Ram in Merrill. We invite you to visit our newly renovated dealership and showroom. We have over 60 Ram trucks in stock or on the way, with many that qualify for 0% financing. At Brickner's and Merrill, we rent 12 and 15 passenger vans along with minivans at very competitive prices. Pack the family into one of these for your upcoming trip and skip the airport. There's always a whole lot of good going on at Brickner's Park City Jeep Chrysler Dodge and Ram in Merrill. 1-800-499-JEEP or on the web at bricknersparkcity.net.
Schools
forced to close, falling academic standards, parents told they don't have a say, transgender videos for kindergartners, and books that shame kids just for being white. That's Tony Evers' record on Wisconsin public schools.
As a mom, I have every right to know what my kids are being taught in class. Our schools should teach reading, writing, and math, not crazy liberal ideas.
Tony Evers. Wrong for our kids, wrong for Wisconsin.
Spend the day in Phelps Saturday, September 17th to enjoy all activities at Scarecrow Fest. Free admission, craft fair, music, kids games, food, and wine tasting. Sponsored by Phelps Women's Club.
Huge auction, Conover, Wisconsin. 2015 Chevy truck, 2011 Jeep Wrangler, light new Mahindra tractor, guns, tools, home contents, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.
Well, scenes like this are not too far away, but with temperatures in the 70s to near 80s today, most of the leaves depend on daylight or the amount of daylight. They'll be turning here shortly, but with temperatures still warm. Look at this today. 78 today in Rhinelander, 79 for Green Bay, 80 Wapaka. That's not normal. The average high is around 70. All of us did that today, and then some. We'll get close to it tomorrow. So there's the average high is 70, the record low being 29. So that is what the atmosphere can do. Record high being 90, and the sun set earlier. Our days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter at 7:13. Okay, outside right now, it's still 60 in Rhinelander, 54 for Diamond Lake, 59 for Stevens Point, 61 for Eau Claire. It's comfortable out there, not as cold as it was last night, or a couple of you dipped your toes into the upper 30s for lows. That will not happen across our area tonight. But going forward temperature-wise, so 71 tomorrow, noticeably colder tomorrow, right? 71 for high, but then right back up again. 75 for Thursday, 78 for Friday, up near 80 over the weekend, with some rain showers probably for Saturday into Sunday. And then look, those are 80s, and they're holding in the forecast from Monday into Tuesday of next week. Here we are in the later parts of September by then, right? Okay, so outside today, we had lots of clear skies. We were in can you find a cloud mode today? There weren't any clouds out there today. Just a nice east breeze across our region and plenty of sunshine with temperatures hanging out, pretty much near 80. Tomorrow, though, is going to be a bit cooler with those temperatures near 70. Right now, lots of clear skies across the state. There is a cold front just to our north. It's right about there over Lake Superior. That is moving our direction. So it's going to mean a wind shift for us tonight. There's no precipitation in there, just a wind shift for us tonight. And that's going to cool us off a bit for tomorrow. Still with some sunshine, though. The bigger problem, though, is this over here to the west of us. Remember last week I stood right here on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we watched all this precipitation across the west. I'm like, okay, guys, it's going to move this way slowly each day. Well, it looks like once again it's going to be over us later Friday into Saturday and Sunday. It'll likely affect the football games on Friday night again with some showers across our area that could linger into Saturday and Sunday as well. Futurecast shows tonight, no worries at all. There could be a little bit of dense fog out there late tonight, especially along and north of the UP border. That'll burn off quickly with the sunrise tomorrow morning, and then we're off for a very nice day. So our forecasted high temperatures tomorrow are a bit cooler. Highs near 70 to the north, maybe a couple mid-70s across central Wisconsin. That'll likely be a stretch, though, as a much cooler day is on deck for us for tomorrow. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies. Some dense fog is likely. Low temperatures not as cold, with lows down near 47, and a calm wind already out there right now. For tomorrow, it's Wednesday already, so partly cloudy, noticeably colder, though, tomorrow. Not cold, but colder. High temperatures near 70, an east breeze around 5. It's going to feel comfortable tomorrow, but not as warm out there as today. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows tomorrow very comfortable, getting warmer on Thursday, partly cloudy skies on Thursday. Friday morning is dry. Friday evening looks wet with a high temperature near 78. It'll likely affect the games Friday evening. And then off and on rain showers again over the weekend. But look at the temperatures hanging out in the 70s, and then 80s are in the forecast for us early next week. Dan?
Thanks, Jeff. Two raging wildfires in California right now, the Mosquito Fire and the Dutch Flat Fire. They're forcing thousands of people to flee in small towns northeast of Sacramento. The Mosquito Fire is burning in the Tahoe National Forest and has burned more than 49,000 acres. Authorities say the Mosquito Fire has forced more than 11,000 people to evacuate since it started, destroyed 46 structures, and threatens nearly 6,000 more. The nearby Dutch Flat fire just ignited today and is burning near the small town of Dutch Flat. Authorities have ordered people in the area to evacuate. Fire reported this Tuesday afternoon that this wildfire has burned just 25 acres, but 0% of it is contained. There's a teeth whitening trend on social media right now where people are using homemade products, but dentists warn this could permanently damage teeth. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdul Kawi talked to experts in Land O'Lakes and has more.
I think a lot of it actually has to do with social media.
Everybody wants to have that perfect smile.
The expectations that people see through that are usually bright white teeth, aligned teeth, big smiles, so a lot of people are attempting to achieve kind of what they're seeing.
Dr. Laura Gall, a dentist at Gender Halls Dental, says social media influencers are showing people how to whiten their teeth at home using acidic foods.
That is extremely harmful for the teeth, so especially things that are extremely acidic can actually dissolve your teeth instead of whiten them. So it might look like it's whitening them, but you've actually taken off a layer of your tooth, which you won't get back.
Your teeth will disappear. They will melt away.
Dr. Peter Schinderholz has been in the dental field for 42 years. He says even though some results may work on some people, everybody's teeth are not the same.
Everybody's teeth are different. Some people shouldn't whiten their teeth because they will look grayer or look darker. The average person, yes, will get whiter, but some people won't change at all or won't change significantly.
If you don't take care of your teeth, you can end up losing them. Having a good diet as well as brushing and flossing every day will make a difference.
There's natural erosion that occurs all the time from foods that you eat, and it will remineralize, or the tooth will repair itself. But if there's too much acid, there's no chance to repair, and it'll be gone forever.
Reporting in Land O'Lakes, Mohammed Abdul Kawi, Newswatch 12.
It was a busy sports night across the Northwoods, including a must-watch battle in Crandon this evening. Coming up on Newswatch 12, we'll break down the battle for the best of Forest County. We'll be right back.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
These are actual crime scenes across Wisconsin. Yet Mandela Barnes supports defunding the police.
The minute you talk about reducing a police department's budget, then it's like all hell breaks loose, and everybody acts like you're signaling Armageddon. But that's not the case. It's about reallocating funds.
And where did your tax dollars get reallocated to? More police security for Barnes. Mandela Barnes. Less safety for you, more for him. Wisconsin Truth Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Whether it's for work or play, you want a truck that'll get the job done right. We have them all. Half-ton trucks, Power Strokes, Cummins, Duramax, SUVs, over 800 to choose from. Know that all Lenz trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, can be purchased online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. Go now to lenztruck.com.
Lenz Truck. Look, we knew the other side would make up lies about me to scare you. Now they're claiming I want to defund the police and abolish ICE. That's a lie. I'll make sure our police have the resources and training they need to keep our communities safe. And that our communities have the resources to stop crime before it happens. I'll bring back manufacturing. And I'll pass a middle-class tax cut. And if that's too scary for Washington, then so be it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Coming up on your Wednesday, we'll meet with the Greater Lakes Intertribal Council to talk about their Murdered and Missing Indigenous Relatives initiative.
And we have lots of cold temperatures in the area, Jackie, but it will warm up. When? I'll have that coming up.
Sports Watch 12 starts now.
Only two volleyball teams undefeated in Northern Lakes Conference play entering tonight, the Crandon Cardinals and the Leona Wabeno Rebels. Well, they played each other tonight. The Rebels are hoping to repeat their state tournament trip from last year. The Cardinals hoping to stop them. To Crandon High School, where Leona Wabino started hot, but Crandon answered quickly. In the first game, Abby Van Zyl serves this one up. Bump from Allison Albright, set from Grace Krause, spike from Lily Terry, point Rebels. But it's not all about power. Krause sets up Albright for the soft tap there. But Leona Wabino, they're down 20-17 right now. They're going to need to keep the kills coming. Mallory Krause is going to try this spike, but rejected by Bella Toyebo from the Cardinals, and she's jacked up. Let's go to set point here. Cardinals up 24-3. A nice hit from Holly Gilligan forces a Crandon to just set the ball over. They can't spike it, but Holly Palabicki with some pinpoint accuracy puts it in the back corner. Set goes to the Cardinals, and they would win in a nail-biter. 3-2, and the final set was 19-17. Unseating the Rebels to claim the top spot in the Northern Lakes Conference. Now to Rhinelander taking on Mosinee. Mosinee, always one of the top teams in the GNC. Third set, Mosinee up 2-0. Rhinelander trying to get something going. Ava Lamer sets up Kelsey Barron, spikes it off the Mosinee defenders. That's a point for the Hodags. But take a look at this answer by Mosinee. Alexis Jonas sets up Miranda Shosky. Look at that scorcher of a spike. Mosinee up 23-14, looking for match point here. Kelsey Baran says not so fast with that spike. The Hodags are staying alive. Here comes match point number 2. Jonas sets up Schnosky. Some finesse this time from her. Mosinee rolls 3-0 over Rhinelander. Now to the pitch. Rhinelander hosting Mosinee. Second half, Hodags up 2-1. Rhinelander tries the old give and go here. Then Leo Loesch is going to unload this one. The Mosinee keeper gobbles it up. A few minutes later, off a free kick, Mosinee's Carter Dahl finds the back of the net, tying it up. But Rhinelander would score again. They would win it 3-2. And finally, the Brewers were in action tonight. Andrew McCutcheon would hit this late bomb for the Crew to seal it. They beat the division-leading Cardinals 8-4. Brewers are now 10 games over 500, but still a game and a half back from the final wild card spot in the NL. They battle the Cards again tomorrow at 6:45. That's all we have for sports this evening. Coming up on Newswatch 12, we'll take a look around the country, including the latest inflation report. We'll be right back.
Slumberland Furniture has savings up to 50% off list prices, or in some cases, even more, at our Labor Day sale on now. Shop our big selection of sectionals, sofas, recliners, dining, and bedrooms. Shop the huge Labor Day sale on now.
The light at the end of the tunnel isn't shining so brightly for everyone. Families continue to fight for survival. Some jobs are gone forever. Bills pile up. But please know, you have not been forgotten. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
The Socialist Squad led the charge to defund the police and eliminate bail for dangerous felons. Now violent crime is surging in Wisconsin.
More people have been killed in Milwaukee this year than in any previous year.
Mandela Barnes attacked the Kenosha police and incited more violence.
The officer's deadly actions attempted to take a person's life in broad daylight. This felt like some sort of vendetta.
Mandela Barnes, dangerously liberal on crime.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
At Lakeside Living Design, we've always got something stylish in store for you. Whether you're looking for high-quality custom upholstery, decorative accessories and gifts, or are designing your space entirely from scratch, you'll have a friendly designer by your side, sharing their expertise, helping you bring your unique style to life. So stop by, explore our showroom, and together we'll make your space feel just like home.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do, and with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for $60 and get $500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Get up to 50% off list prices or more at our Labor Day mattress sale at Slumberland Furniture. Like this special purchase Sealy Posturepedic for just $5.99, or this ultra firm Sealy Posturepedic for $10.99. For your easiest shopping ever, Slumberland Furniture.
With gas prices down, inflation was expected to be down, but the consumer price index for August rose by 0.1%. Economists expected inflation to drop 0.1%, according to Dow Jones estimates. The energy index fell 5% over the month, thanks to a 10% slide in the gasoline index. But prices shot up in food, shelter, and medical care more than gas prices declined. U.S. stocks did not have a good day. They plummeted in their worst day since June 11th of 2020 after key August inflation data ticked upward. That surprised investors. The Dow was down 1,300 points, or 4%. The S&P 500 fell 4%. The NASDAQ composite tumbled 5%. The market is likely worried that hotter than expected inflation will prompt the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates more aggressively. The Federal Reserve will be meeting next Tuesday to consider another possible interest rate hike. President Joe Biden held an event today to celebrate the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act. A large crowd gathered on the White House lawn for the afternoon ceremony, attended by lawmakers, activists, CEOs, and other groups who supported the legislation. It was exactly 4 weeks ago that the president signed the bill into law to help combat inflation, even as this new government report shows that consumer prices such as housing and food continue to rise. President Biden touted the passage of the bill as a major step forward for America.
This law is going to make a big difference for middle class and working class families. Finally, giving them a little bit, as my dad would say again, breathing room. It's a big step forward for the country.
The massive bill, which passed with only Democratic votes, will help fight climate change, lower prescription drug costs for Medicare recipients, and help Americans pay for health care, among other things. Ken Starr was the independent counsel whose investigation uncovered the Monica Lewinsky affair that led to the impeachment of former President Bill Clinton. He died today, and more recently, he defended President Trump during his first impeachment. According to Starr's family, he passed away due to complications from surgery in Houston. Starr was 76 years old. The man who killed music legend John Lennon has been denied parole for a 12th time. On December 8th, 1980, Mark David Chapman shot Lennon in the back 4 times. Chapman was sentenced to 20 years to life after pleading guilty. New York's Department of Corrections says Chapman appeared before the parole board on August 31st. Chapman has expressed some remorse for killing Lennon in recent years, but Lennon's widow, Yoko Ono, has reportedly submitted a number of letters asking the board to deny parole. Chapman will be eligible to seek parole again in 2 years. Transport Brewery in Shawnee, Kansas, has been known as a dog-friendly place for years, but a code implemented last year is threatening that. Reporter Ju-Yeon Kim stopped by the brewery to hear the staff's concerns and their efforts to welcome back their furry patrons.
It's just become a part of not only our identity, but our communities as well.
Transport Brewery has always been a safe haven, not only for its regulars, but their furry companions.
I would say a lot of the patrons come here because they can bring their dogs.
Ashlyn and her 3-year-old dog Willow have been coming here since the brewery opened its doors almost 4 years ago.
Willow, sit.
Transport Brewery has donated nearly $15,000 to local organizations through adoption events, yearly fundraisers, and their end-of-the-year calendar sales.
And a lot of the regulars and employees had their dogs featured. So that's Willow. She is May.
Do you think it's stuff like this that means so much to the people that come here?
Yeah, definitely.
But all that is now on the line. The Kansas Department of Agriculture implemented a new code in April of 2021 that prohibits dogs from being in food establishments.
Because we make beer, beer is considered food.
3 years ago, beer wasn't considered food. They had to find food partnerships to make sure they were compliant with a state law requiring 30% of sales come from food.
Now, 3 years later,
beer is food, so you can't have dogs. Well, which is it?
The staff applied for a variance that was immediately denied, and there's no appeal structure to their knowledge. So the brewery launched Charlie's Cause, a call to action for community members to reach out to lawmakers.
Charlie was a dog that came in here multiple times a week with his owner, Rusty James. When we heard that Charlie passed away and we were trying to figure out what to do, in honor of Charlie, we decided to call this Charlie's Cause to try to protect the place that he loved so much.
Dear gas prices, my lineup brings serious savings. We got this. Toyota Hybrids. Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models. Toyota. Let's go places.
Exciting things call for a drum roll, like this new offer on one of Wisconsin's favorite lotto games. It's Badger 5 Double Jackpot Days. If a jackpot is won, there's a 1 in 2 chance that it doubles. This offer is included with every Badger 5 purchase, only in September. This exciting offer from the Wisconsin Lottery is going fast.
He wants to be a firefighter, a doctor, a teacher, and he wants to be their governor. But Tim Michaels said funding public schools is the definition of insanity.
We're already throwing so much money at education.
He'd drain millions from public schools to help fund private schools in Milwaukee, and even consider ending the Department of Public Instruction. Tim Michaels wants to be governor for 4 long years. But what matters more to you, his future or theirs?
Give your floors the update they deserve with Menard's huge selection of flooring. Lutex Mills provides soft, luxurious carpet that is backed by a lifetime stain and fade warranty. Save 11% on all Lutex Mills carpet. Transform the look of any living space with vinyl plank flooring from Great Lakes. It's durable, waterproof, and easy to install, making it the perfect floor for an active lifestyle. Now 11% off at Menard's.
Save big money at Menard's.
What does expert HVAC installation look like to you? Having a perfect reading nook on a humid day? A place to enjoy the view on a cold winter day? With a carrier system installed by Dahlquist, your home will be comfortable from room to room. Plus, you'll be getting expert installation of a system brought to you by the people who invented modern air conditioning. Contact Dahlquist today for your carrier. Turn to the experts.
Dear gas prices, my lineup brings serious savings. We got this. Toyota Hybrids. Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models. Toyota. Let's go places.
Join us for the Fall Cruising Car, Truck, and Bike Show, Saturday, September 17th from 9 to 3 as part of Colorama at the St. Germain Community Park.
All right, Dan, temperatures hanging out in the 50s to low 60s out there now. A far cry from last night with low temperatures in the 30s for a few spots. Lots of clear skies out there currently. There's a little something to the west of us that will leave us alone tonight. And we have a cooler day tomorrow, not cold, followed by a warm-up Thursday and probably some rain showers late Friday and over the weekend, of course.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but geez, every weekend it seems like we're getting rain.
I know.
Well, hopefully we'll break it the following weekend, not this weekend. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Do you feel safe? Mandela Barnes would eliminate cash bail, setting accused criminals free into the community before trial, even with shootings, robberies, carjackings, violent attacks on our police. More than 300 murders last year alone. Yet Barnes has even supported defunding the police. Mandela Barnes, he stands with them, not us. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do. And with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for $60 and get $500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chunk Gaming Wittenberg.
At Big Valley Ford, we have a great selection of gently used trucks, SUVs, and cars. And we are ready to help you find the right vehicle to explore the North Woods. Big Valley